Hello and welcome back to RailRoads Online. So today we are here back with the number one Montezuma. We have turned around and picked up a few rolling stock, a few 8 of the matching rolling stock to turn around and go with our first set there. As makes filling up the industry certainly a little bit faster with, not that much of a spend. As far as pick up, these cars are $100 cheaper than the full-size ones. We are going to turn around and go for a, 2 drop-offs, a pickup, and a little bit of a build today. So we're just going to jump right in and get going. Making progress on filling the sawmill. Go rolling out. Montezuma not having any kind of problems running the 10 cars on flat ground. Everything here nice and flat, so not having any problems. We'll turn around and make a round trip run on the railroad today, which should be the last full load that we can get inside the sawmill is going to be the deal. And then we're going to add some rail and look forward to picking up our next rolling stock. Hopefully we'll have enough money for that. It's going to be the idea. We can take a look at where we're at currently at the start. 27.28 after spending the I think it's like 16 on the rolling stock there. So making a little bit of money so far. Can't complain. Alright, let's see if we can kick this and grab a little bit more speed. Somewhere in and around 80 has kind of been our good luck. Although this way we do go a little bit slower than we do going out the other way. Let's see if we can get anything extra out of it. There we go, we're getting a little bit more. Moving along. Montezuma not going to win you any races when you're actually hauling loads, that's for sure. Yeah, if we choked out anymore, we're just losing. I think that's going to be our sweet spot right now, is just over 90% on the reverser. You got to just take what you can get. So now we probably have a little bit of a downhill incline here, is more what it looks like. Running through the trees. We will definitely be changing the line quite a bit, so none of this set in stone. I mean, the main runs in between areas for sure, but all of our dockings at this point, well, let's not say all of them, but most things are going to come under major shifts in this railroad at this point. As we say early on here, we're just running a logging railroad. We're not taking in the whole big picture. We're just running a logging line. As all we have is one little loco anyway at this point, so. And thankfully, with the miracle of Shrinky Log, we get 50 logs on this train. Although this train, I think, only has 49 logs, because for whatever reason, the one car back there, C car right there, would not, for some reason, take another log. So, but in its defense, I was doing some stupid stuff when loading it up there, so I'm going to blame it more on me than blame it on anything else. At this point, obviously we have a lot of things to add along the way. This all gonna change massively in here for sure. There'll be no doubt about that. Alright, we might as well slow this one down a bit. And then, woo! Let's get to the right car that we want to dump and dump it. We should probably slow down quite a bit more so we don't fling logs everywhere. at the depot. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. Flinging logs everywhere at the depot. They frown upon that here. Whoa. Too far. There we go. Making a little bit of money. Nothing to write home about, but we'll turn around. Hey. Kick this one in gear now. Did turn around to get some water in the loco. Did not turn around and fill it all the way up. Things acting a little funny, kind of filling things. So it filled a good portion of the water. We have water for a while is the way to look at it. But something we do have to keep an eye on for sure, as it did not get filled up. Not going to try to dawdle too much here. Just going to keep cruising around. Go back and take a look at the water while we're doing all that. Actually, we're down to 700 already. Wow. Okay, so drinking a fair amount of water. But then I suppose the boiler had to get filled, so that's definitely going to suck some out of there. For sure. Let's go ahead and give it a little more juice. Come around the rock here. This is probably the tightest wobble in here, and we could really take some of that out of there. Again, it's going to be one of those things. It's all going to get changed for sure, so, you know, not a lot of point in getting it to anything other than works. I mean, that's the nice thing with laying temporary rail, you know, is you really don't have to, it doesn't have to be perfect. If you just accept you're going to change it. Alright, heading back down the rail about as fast as we can get on is going to be the idea here. There we go, pushing her up towards 1920. Now we're talking more top end speed for Montezuma. On the light end, running barefoot, the thing will certainly get along good. Gives us a chance to open her up. I don't think we're going to get much more. We're going to have to leave it at 30 something and just run it out from there. Nice look at the loco doing loco things. Get rid of that. Gonna take it in. Pretty lucky with that one there. Not a bad little starter locomotive. That's my take on Montezuma. Always have been a fan of it. That back up just so we can watch the speed. Go for some senseless whistling, see if we get echo in here. We do not. Good looking map. Big map, but easy to lay a track on, so, you know, for starting players, stuff like that, Mesa Plains is definitely good. If you like options, Mesa Plains is definitely good. That's for sure. You could run the track in any one of a ton of ways on this map, that's for sure. Not restricted here at all. Alright, we will be stopping here and trying to get this loaded up, so let's go ahead and shed a little bit of that speed as we approach the dock. Oh, whoa. Nope, we're gonna miss it. Roll, there we go. Alright, that one's going. See if we can get that one going. And we'll just see how the rest of these work out. This is what I was saying before by just messing around. Sometimes you're going to get them to not drop. You know, it was like 2 went on and 2 went on, and then it didn't want to put the other one on. Is anyone going to try to load that? I think we'll just pull forward. We're on that car. We just need one swing of the crane here, so we'll just try to keep it simple. Let's go. Push up the reverser there, make things a little easier here for dock handling. Should already have the other crane swinging. Totally kind of messed this one up. But we'll take what we can get. Oh, we might get away with it. Check that out. Sweet. Worked out. Sometimes you never can tell. I'll take loading 3 cars at a time instead of 2 though, so that's another positive. When it works out right, it's really nice anyway. Alright, let's see. Probably will not work out quite as nice this time. Ooh, that'd be too far forward. Yep, maybe it'll work out. Yep. Hey, that's cool. Worked out twice in a row. Does not often do that, you know. You always go for it. You go for the ideal, but it doesn't tend to pan out that way. Nice with a lot less crane swings for 10 cars. That's not so bad. Certainly beats the old days of running back and forth. Wait, what are you doing? Hey, that's okay. We'll take it. Can we keep that going? No, we're gonna have to swing it. It's okay though. Working out right there. That was almost like it was meant to be that way. There we go. Clear out of the way, good people. We are going to be headed down the rail with what should be, it's not going to quite totally top it off, but it should get the sawmill full. Or at least full train loads anyway. I don't think we can get another load in there at any rate. We probably could get a couple more logs in there, but definitely not another full load, and we're not going to be running partials, so that's for sure. Alright, let's see if we can build up a little bit of speed here. Usually about the time we hit this switch here, we're good to go. Bite this down to about 80, 81 we'll take, and that should get us about as fast as we can get through this section of rail, generally speaking, which is almost, you know, I don't know, 18, 19 sometimes, somewhere between 15 and 20, or 15 anyway. Which, you know, for Montezuma, that's not so bad. At least you're putting it through its paces. It's definitely working. How many more cars could we add? I don't know. You know, a couple. It's not going to pull a ton more. I don't think we could double the load. So then, there's kind of almost no point at least. I don't know. Depends on how you think about it. I think for Montezuma, this is doing a pretty good load. I'll tell you what, back in the day, well, back in the day, Betsy could do anything, so you could stick a ton behind Betsy. Not necessarily anymore though. So this is a pretty good load for a starting locomotive. And if we bite down anymore, I think we just start slowing down. In fact, we might get a little more speed even with a little more reverser put into it. So we'll keep it going. Let's see. Also just depends on any kind of incline at all, you know. Woo! That's the kicker with auto snapping. Not a bad looking little train there. Doing its thing. Narrow gauge in its wonder, you know. Yeah, we're cruising along now. There we go, picking up. 15, 18, can't complain. I think we can probably bite down a little more here because I think we do have a little bit of a downhill grade here, although it does not really seem to be paying off. Could have been running all these at a mile or two faster, baby. It's always about getting that finite line. I know one thing we did turn around and do for this save file is went from hard to turn around medium. Just going to play the whole thing out on medium and just leave it. You know, realistically, ideally, I like to play where you start on hard and then switch it to easy as you get going. You might as well, saves you a lot of deliveries. But I think this one, we're just going to lock it into medium and leave it there. That'll keep us to wanting to build. You know, if you do it on easy, you really don't need that many cars. So I think on medium, maybe we'll get a fair mix of try to get some longer trains in without having to go overboard running loads crazy, just time-wise. Many things coming up, so just try to keep it simple. Definitely going to try to do some decorating and building along the way or at certain points. So the core ideas for Mesa Plains are going to be a thing, hopefully. Just keep this cruising. One of those, when you start the railroad, you always have so much to do. Okay, one thing we do want to do is flip that switch. Yeah, cool. We are going to take it around that way. As for our building project at the end here, just going to be a little addition. Oh, nice little look. Telegraph booth way away from where we have to hear it, close enough to the switch we can get to it. Looks kind of cool off over there. Little shack. Kind of digging that. And we're, of course, blasting through the station. So we are going to have that rise in here, so I think we're going to lose a fair amount of oomph. Hopefully we get through here clean. No more jumping locomotives due to missed branches. Not like anything was jumping like it shouldn't be. All appropriate. Completely called for it. Cruising right through. Nice thing with Montezuma is it definitely does get around tight turns and everything very well. Not hard to use this locomotive at all. Very favorable. You can see our water trough or our water well, water pumping station, depending on what you'd like to go for there. Right. And we will be coming for the offload here. Should probably slow this down just a touch. There we go, flying logs. Let's do our thing. Unloading on the roll will cause you a few issues. You may lose a few logs from time to time. They will do things like that. Let's stop this bug. Might as well just slow it down. The nice thing, of course, it's going to do it even if they're stopped. So it isn't really just a product of rolling. It's a product of the logs hitting together as they expand. That's a problem with the smaller cars. You don't really run into that so much with the big cars, or at least you didn't, and not much has changed. So just a thing to be aware of. If you're really picky about, like, you want to get every log in there, then I would suggest slowing down your offload or offloading every other car so that the logs don't slam into each other. But we're going to have not enough room in there for any more logs. Well, not another full load for sure. Of course, it depends on if we got them all in there or not. But all intents and purposes, we're going to call that full. So then we'll head down here, at least full for now, and we will go ahead and go for our build project that we're going to try to do here today, which actually, gonna have to see. We may drop this on the ground if we delete it right there. So what we will do is drop down here quick and back this up just a bit. We know in front of the dock we have a break. I'm not sure where the track breaks, if it breaks at all on the other side of that. So we're going to play it safe. Save ourselves from picking up a locomotive. And then we'll go ahead and go fly. Now we're going to have to look at it from a standpoint of how long is that train. Alright, so I think we'll actually go pretty close to the shed here is where we're going to want to be. Oop, so let's go ahead and delete that track. Oh, you know what? That's going to work. Alright, we'll take that. Let's have the switch be on that side. Yeah, I think I like that. So then what we're going to do is just drop that in there. Yeah, that's cool. Keeps the switch. Actually, you know what? That doesn't really make a lot of sense. Because it'll be easier to get to the switch if it's the other way. So let's do that, but let's grab there. And then let's see how that goes. All good? All good. Then we can reattach this end. Keep it nice and simple here. There we go. Nice and straight. And then here, we're going to want to have a little bit of space. We're going to need a switch going that way. So let's bring that. And I think we'll actually do something like that. Let's see how this works out. We just want to go straight. Something like that. And then we'll put an official stop on here. And let's go ahead and see if we can make it look decent with just some ground trim. There we go. Bring that out where we want it. Alright, looks good. Wood and water added there, obviously. And then down here, we're going to come just get rid of that. And we'll get rid of that. And we'll get rid of that. And that should let us just come in here. Nice and handy. This way, if we ever do want to put in any more lanes, we definitely have room to do that. We also have some space in there, so nothing's gonna hit anything. Not gonna be a problem. There we go. Decent. And then we'll go ahead and drop down there. Hop up in the cab here. That is going to be our siding for our log cars, at least for the time being. Turn around and roll this forward. Take a look quick at our money where we're at, about 4,000. So that's definitely going to give us money to pick up tier 2 rolling stock. Oops. Which I guess we could throw a few more dollars in there, but if we could start pulling out some of the lumber and the beams, we can certainly get more in there. We'll get rid of that. And then we'll just side our cars here. Probably normally wouldn't do this at racer speeds, or trying to do racer speeds in the yard here. Did you flip? Uh-oh. There we go. It did flip, no problem. Oh, nope. There we go. Backing up and holding. Hopefully this all fits in there, no problem. Eyeball measurements, I think we're good. Yeah, plenty of room. We're going to be able to hold on the straight. And if we needed to, we could definitely get a lot more in here. Or if we upsize to the full-size cars and we go with 10 of those, we can turn around and get those in there. So either way we go, we have enough holding here now. I mean, get the whole stack. That's everything we have. So we'll turn around, get that detached. We'll be turning around and pulling this one up to the station for our new rolling stock. But I think for... Ooh, no. Now we just hooked back into it. That was not the goal at all. Get off of there. It is off of there? Are you off it? No, there you are. Oh, let's bust this forward. Get off of there. We're going to leave those behind. Head off to the station, turn around, and grab our new rolling stock. So we're going to call that one a win and say thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have a great day.